This is why I can't play like sound effects, man. They're cursed. What's up, guys? Recycle Bin Hero here with another goalie tips video. This is going to be a short video this week, as you can see by the picture on the screen. Not a lot of crazy good stuff happened, but I did have one recurring thought that kind of kept popping up throughout this week, and as I was replaying the games and talking about it with my team, and that is, what happens when things don't go well? So what I mean by that, when things don't go well, if you were in my stream watching the games, and even my team said this afterwards, like none of these games were ones that I costed or, I gave up like easy goals on. They were mainly breakaways or, cross crease tap ins or maybe like an odd one that like went off me and in or something. But overall, I was playing very well. Just unfortunately, my team couldn't get the results. And that's the way it goes sometimes. You could have a great game and you let in one goal, but you lose 1-0. So this isn't a game to like, or this isn't a video to like, blame my team or anything like that. Like, I firmly believe that you need to stop every puck that comes your way. And that's one of the things I wanted to talk about here is kind of, your mental approach to the game and how you kind of get in that mindset. So I'm someone that I always think a goalie should get a shutout every game. Obviously that doesn't happen, but that's kind of my approach. I'm not going out there looking to give up like one or two or keep it respectable. Like, I want to stop every puck that comes my way. I want to bail the boys out. I want to make the big saves that make the party, blow up and everyone's yelling and saying what a great save that was. But at the same time, you can have those expectations, but if you let in a crappy one or you let in a crappy 2 or 3 or whatever, you can't get so bogged down in the results that that your mental is shot for even the next game or the next shot that comes your way. If it's game 1 of an LG night and you have 2 more games to play, you have to take that, move on to the next one and kind of reset and reapproach. And that kind of takes me to our next point. Even if you let in 3 or 4 goals or you have a stretch of bad play for a week, but you're feeling pretty good in terms of your build or you felt like you did the right things, you just weren't rewarded. Don't let perfect be the enemy of good here. Maybe you're just in a rut or extremely unlucky, and sometimes that's the way the puck bounces. So if you're letting in tons of tips or whatever, okay, I need to put tip jar back in, or I'm seeing a lot of screens, or maybe I need to up the breakaway because my team's giving a lot of breakaways. That's a different situation, but you can't be going back to the kitchen every time and blowing up your build after you let in 4 goals in a game or something. You'll never kind of find a rhythm. You'll never get your feet set. It sounds silly, I know it's a video game, but being comfortable with your build is extremely important. So if after a bad game or two, it happens, don't blow up the farm. Don't take everything back to the workshop and think you got to start over entirely. By all means, if it's been, a week of bad games and you feel like there is some improvement to be made, then by all means do that. But don't really sweat it too much if it's just been a bad couple games. Your team's going to bounce back. You're going to bounce back, and you're going to be fine. Which kind of takes me to the next thing in terms of the post game. You can't get too wrapped up in the if I only stopped one more, or if we scored one more, or your team's telling you, hey man, we should have scored more, you did great. Like, that's all fine, but you can't get so wrapped up in that you're not even thinking about the game that's ahead of you. It's okay to be like, hey man, I feel bad, like we lost, I should have stopped that breakaway. But at the same time, then you got to kind of take that, and now that you've said it and put it out there, move on. You gotta go to the next game, because a lot of times in these league situations or even in club games, you're just stacking games one after the other. There's not really, there's not probably 10 minutes of downtime in between to take a breath and compartmentalize what happened and move on. So it's okay to kind of have in the moment a little bit of frustration or say what you need to say, but then you got to move on. You got to kind of go to the next play and what's in front of you. And my final kind of piece of advice here, like I said, this is a very short video this week, is trust your process. Obviously your team trusts you, otherwise they wouldn't have traded for you, signed you, drafted you, grabbed you off waivers, whatever the case may be. So the team in front of you trusts you. You have to trust your process in terms of saying, look, this is what I do in these situations. I don't need to like totally revamp everything and start from scratch and go back, you know, to square one here. There's always tweaking, there's always refining to do, but that is a much easier and faster process than totally going back to square one. So trust your process. Don't be afraid to compartmentalize and, you know, kind of put the crappy game out of your mind while you focus on the one ahead of you. And, you know, don't let perfect be the enemy of good here. So that's it for this week. I don't have a lot of highlights because, you know, as you saw by my stats, they weren't that great. But, you know, this is kind of a video somewhat for myself, but also somewhat for, you know, you all as well, because I'm sure, like me, you've had a week where you thought you were playing well, but the results just didn't come. And that's the way it goes sometimes. So that's it for this one, guys. I'm going to try to get you a video this week since it's a holiday week. There's no LG. I'll try to see if I can snag some from my other league or just some club play for you. But that is TBD right now. So just hang tight with me. But that's it for this one. I'm going to get out of here. And as always, guys, good vibes, high fives. I love you and I mean it. And I will see you later.